Well, as you know, folks, I've been reading the book, The Secret Science by John Baines, and it's a primer, if you will, on the Hermetic way of life, the Hermetic thought, and Hermetic theology, if you will. And it's very profound. Jay and I have been talking a lot about Hermetic thought on The Last Stand. Wayne and I have been talking a lot about Hermetic thought on Not Your Normal Sunday Show. And Derek and I have been talking about it a lot when I get together with Global Witness. And it seems like it is an up-and-coming subject, and I think it's because it's a subject that's becoming very, very important to us as we come towards some sort of resolution or some sort of event or change or transformation. And I just want to give you tonight the key to your mind, why you can't do what you want to do and how to fix it. This idea was revisited within The Secret Science, and it's an idea that I've talked about in the past, but we have exploded so much in subscribers that many of you have never heard me talk about this, and it's going to sound like I'm wagging my own tail, blowing my own horn. I'm really just sharing some facts with you, and I perform a service that no one else does that I know of, and I think it's the most important service that's out there, because it is actually what allows you to unlock the key to your mind and for you to be able to depend upon your mind to give you the information that you need to receive instantaneously and each and every time you need to receive it. It also opens up what I call the comforter activation. The Christ, Jesus, the Master, the Lord, whatever you believe that he was or is, said that all things that he has spoken to you and all things the Father has spoken will instantly be brought to your mind through the Comforter. And I also call it an Ethernet connection directly to the heavenly database, so you can access information each and every time that you need it. And I just want to give you some background and talk to you about this. I don't know how many of you really understand your mind, and we do have some notes here, so we're going to go through these. But your mind records every single source of sensory input, every single bit of sensory input, and it's been recording it ever since you had a mind. From the very moment in your mother's womb where you were able to understand and receive stimulus, it's been recorded. I work with people constantly whose earliest memories go back to the womb, and that doesn't surprise me at all, because your earliest memories started in the womb. Your mind got to a place developmentally within your, I guess it's called a gestation period, within your mother's womb, where you actually begin to think and hear and understand and perceive. And your mind records every single bit of input that you have received from that time until this, ladies and gentlemen. And it always has recorded it, and it always will record it. From the first moment of cognition, from the first moment that you've understood anything, it's been recorded. And it's been recorded in a complete and perfect record of all that you've ever seen, of all that you've ever heard, and of all the things that you've ever inferred. I call it your analytical mind, that part of you that has recorded and filed away every single input, ladies and gentlemen, that you've ever received. I call that your analytical mind, and it could rightly be called your spirit mind. And we'll get into a little bit more in depth why it would be called your spirit mind. And it's so very, very important. We're going to see why it's so very important, because there's a problem, ladies and gentlemen. And the problem is that we as humans are twofold creatures. We're twofold beings, if you will. We're actually spiritual beings, but we're encased within this flesh. And the mind that I speak of, that I call your analytical mind, the mind that records every single thing that you've ever heard, is really your spirit mind. It's really your mind that is in connection with your higher self, your mind that is in connection with the divine. And there's another mind. Since you're in flesh, this flesh has a mind of its own, and it's called the reactive mind. So it shouldn't be any surprise to you that you're battling two natures. It's like the old Indian proverb, I feel like there's two dogs fighting within me, and the one that wins is the one I feed the most. In this case, the one that wins is the one that you listen to the most, because your analytical mind has recorded every single stimuli that you've ever received over your entire life. But there's a problem, because you have this other mind. I'll call your analytical mind your spirit mind, and we'll call your reactive mind your physical mind. Not the most perfect terms, but we'll use them. Your analytical mind is your higher self, your spiritual mind, and it records everything. Problem is, when you get into a place of trauma, an injury, you pass out, your body decides that you're in a state of danger, your reactive mind will jump up and override your analytical mind. Your reactive mind jumps up and overrides your analytical mind. When we face trauma, and I wrote this, I'm not reading anything. When we face trauma, the reactive mind jumps up and supersedes the analytical mind. The fight or flight overtakes the wrong or right. And what's really happening is your reptilian mind is taken over. Some people call it a monkey mind. I don't think that's really accurate. It's a reptilian mind, because in the true structure of the human brain, your lowest, your oldest, your first part is called the reptilian cortex. That's because it is a reptilian mind. And reptilian mind is fight or flight. And then you go into the higher parts of yourself, your mammalian cortex and your neocortex. And we want to stay in that neocortex, the new cortex, the analytical mind, and that's where the perfect record is, except when that reptilian cortex, that serpent mind, jumps up and overrides your spirit mind. The serpent mind overrides your spirit mind, and that creates gaps in your spirit mind. Why is that a problem? Well, we all know about what we call intuition. We all know about what we call our blink. And the reptilian mind, when it jumps up and takes over, it leaves gaps in your analytical mind's perfect life track. And your analytical mind, when you access it, is never, ever wrong, because it has a complete record of everything that you've ever experienced. And when you make what you think are snap decisions, when you listen to your intuition, when you listen to your blink, it's really your analytical mind running through all the data that you've ever received and spitting out an answer to you just like that. But then the reactive mind, that reptilian mind, jumps up and says, no, wait a minute, don't make a snap decision. Let's think about this. Your analytical mind's already crunched the data. Your analytical mind's already gone through everything and has already given you the right answer. But you allow your reactive mind, your serpent mind, to jump up and take you out of, many times, a correct answer. We all know that you don't change an answer on the test, because when you do, you're usually wrong. But your analytical mind, absent the gaps that are created by your serpent mind jumping up, is always perfect. It will always give you the best decision for you based on all the data. That's what it does. Because you shouldn't have to sit and crunch through 55 years of data every time you make a decision. That's why you have an analytical mind. That's why you have a spirit mind, if you will, because it can go through all the data from every bit of input through my 55 years and give me an answer based upon that data, the best answer based upon all that data. And since I've chosen to align myself with spirit and with Father and Mother, it also crunches all my data from my life and interfaces through the Comforter activation and through the divine database, interfaces with my higher self, interfaces with Father, interfaces with Mother, and gives me the answers that I need. And it gives me the right one every single time. Do I always listen to it? No, I don't. I'm working on that. I don't make many mistakes, but when I make them, they tend to be rather spectacular. And that's another podcast. Hello. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the key is to have an analytical mind without gaps. But we all have gaps because our reptilian mind has jumped up in times of trauma and perceived danger and created gaps in our analytical mind, which causes our blink and our intuition not to be perfect because it can't work when it's shut off. When it's not shut off, it works perfectly, but it gets shut off by your reptilian mind in times of trauma and perceived danger to your serpentine, reptilian fight or flight, reptilian cortex mind. So the gaps wreck your blink. The gaps cause your intuition to be less than perfect. And these gaps must be repaired. And the good news is they can be repaired with relative lack of stress and in a way that's not very problematic. I happen to be the only person that I know that does it. And fortunately, I do it at a very highly proficient rate. Even people that don't like me say, this is the most profound thing that I've ever experienced in my life. And that says something. And it's not that hard. It's not as laborious as you think it would be. It's not as tough as you think it would be. Because here's basically what it is. I don't hypnotize you. I put you in a place of reverie that allows you to be able to walk back through your life and your mind and your memories and locate the gaps. And once we locate those gaps, we have a very effective and a very elegant methodology for repairing them. And once you get finished, you have no gaps left in your analytical mind. And you're able to operate from your spirit brain and not your serpent brain. You're able to operate from your higher brain and not your lower brain. You're able to operate from your higher self and not your lower self, which we jokingly call your damn self sometimes. So what we do is we put you in a little bit of a reverie. You close your eyes. I look at your face. We take you back, and we fix all the gaps in your analytical mind, in your life track. I call it life track analysis and repair because we're analyzing this life track, finding the gaps, and repairing them. And it's easy. Well, I define easy as something you can do. There is stress involved. There is some low-grade trauma involved because, I mean, you're accessing things that can be and have been painful to you. But it's I've never had anybody break down. I've never had anybody run out screaming. And I've never not been successful. And it's never taken me more than 7 or 8 sessions to get someone dialed back in, to get them back in touch with their analytical mind, to remove all the gaps from their analytical mind and allow them to be connected to the divine database, allow them to have the comfort or activation, and allow them to be able to trust their intuition and their blink again. Jeff, are you saying that I can remove every single traumatic memory I've ever had? Absolutely. Jeff, are you saying that I won't be afraid of anything anymore? Absolutely. You're saying I won't have any traumas anymore? Absolutely. It's very methodical, it's very elegant, and it's very easily done. And I've done it many times, and I can do it for you just as easily as I can do it for anybody else. What it will do is give you the key to your mind. It'll put you back in the driver's seat of your mind, and it will give you access to everything you need to have success in life and to grow your spirituality where you want it to be. It's the occultic work of reclaiming your mind without the occultic initiation, I guess you would say. I'm very careful with it. I'm very reverent with it. And I understand the tremendous honor that it is to work with you, and the weightiness of what we're doing is not lost on me. I invite you to work with me. I was at a place where I was charging a specific amount for this. I'm not doing that anymore. But there is an occultic axiom that says that a student must render remuneration to an instructor for information and instruction received. That means that, the Hermetic axiom that you don't get something for nothing, the law of cause and effect, the law of vibration, really principles actually, we have to stay in alignment with those. So in alignment with those axioms, I've returned to a donation basis for my services. And we don't say how much, we don't say how little, we don't set a limit. You do what you think you should do, you do what you think you can do. And we both live in accordance to the occultic axiom that a student must render appropriate remuneration, which means return for services rendered based upon what he or she feels he or she has received. If you want to be involved in this, I'm going to share my screen and show you exactly what you need to do. And I feel like this is so important. I feel like I should be doing at least one of these every day, and I have this week, but I feel like I should be having to turn people away because this is the most important work that we can do, and I think it's the most powerful work that we can do. So what you do is go to JeffreyDaugherty.com, JeffreyDaugherty.com. Create yourself. It's an inside job. You can view the YouTube channel here if you like. But what I want you to do is to go down and come down here to where it says Start Working with Jeffrey today. And teachings and services cannot be bought as they are not for sale. But it is necessary that the student contribute something of value to those who instruct him or her. This is an occult law which cannot be violated. And I do recommend that in order to maximize your session and work with me, that I strongly recommend that you install the Fluffy free trial, the Focus Life Force Synergy free trial, which you can find right up here. So you want to click this first and fill out that free trial, which gives you 15 days, I believe, for your home, 15 days for your cell phone. So have that done before you contact me, because it puts you into a high consciousness environment and exponentially increases the probability of success and will cut numbers of sessions off of your work schedule. I'm telling you, if it normally would have taken us 7 sessions, working in a fluffy environment, it'll be 5 sessions, maybe less. And then what you do is you hit the Donate Now button. And the Donate Now button is going to take you in here to my new cosmic knowledge. And we'll be silly. We'll put $500. And you would just hit donate with PayPal, or you can donate on a debit or credit card. And after you do that, it's going to give you a chance to write a note. Just put in there for life track analysis or LTA or something of that nature. And it will notify me, and I will get in touch with you, and we will set up a time. What we will do initially is have a introductory session. We just want to go back through this again. JeffreyDaugherty.com. Come down to the Start Working with Jeffrey today. Hit the donate button. Do the appropriate donation that you feel is right. Leave a note, life track analysis, something of that nature, and I will get back with you. And I'm not supposed to show you my back end of my YouTube, but it's looking really good, and I appreciate and thank you all for that. So that's what this is all about. It's the most important work in the world, I think, and I'm honored to be doing it. And I want to offer myself to you to do it for you and with you. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. This is New Cosmic Knowledge. We are the last generation of real humans. We need to get optimized. This is mental optimization. Physical optimization, Jay talks about. Spiritual optimization, I talk about. Mental optimization, I also talk about. We are the last generation of real humans. We need to get optimized. We need to get busy. Life track analysis. Make it a priority in your life. Contact me today. Now's the time, cousin, to get busy. Love and light to you all. I salute you for being here seeking after truth. And I look forward to working with you and continuing to talk with you. And thank you. Today we went over 26,000 subscribers, and we are rolling on, and it's all because of you. Thank you so much. I love each and every one of you. We are the last generation of real humans. And cousin, let's get busy.